Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Walsall, and the reason I'm here in Walsall is because I understand they'll be shortly getting out the bulldozers. They're going to be knocking down a few shops here in Park Street, which is probably the main retail area of Walsall town, and the idea behind that is to create a walkway, a bit of a gateway, and we've heard this before, haven't we? They're doing one at West Bromwich. They've already knocked down the old Woolworths building, and it's all about linking up transport hubs, and they're doing that with West Brom. They're linking the metro line to the metro station to a new town square in the High Street, and eventually they'll also be linking up with the bus station, and that's exactly what they're doing here in Walsall. Beginning next month, it's just a few weeks away, they're then going to be knocking down some old shops, creating a walkway from the bus station in St Paul Street, which will connect to the railway station in Station Street. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look and see where it's going to be. So I'm just here off Gallery Square. You can see just ahead of me. Around here they're also proposing to build a footbridge. I'm not sure where it will be. The footbridge will link here to the Crown Wharf retail park, which is not far away. It's just down there to the right. It's rather picturesque just around here. We've got some mooring here for barges, and there's Piri Piri ahead. There's one or two eateries around here. We've got Bruce Fair just ahead of me, and something called the Met. Looks like it's a pub of some sort, sports bar perhaps. And here we got this concrete bunker looking building, which is the Walsall Art Gallery. I've never been in there, you know. We've got Costa attached to it. I'll keep saying I'm going to go in there and have a look. There's rather lots of coloured squares in Gallery Square. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. If we're here on a Tuesday morning, I'm not sure how busy it's going to be. We've got Christmas Day just a couple of days away now. That's really sprung up on us rather quickly, hasn't it? I think this road here to the right used to be, well, I think it's Wolverhampton Street. This was the old British Home Stores or BHS building here. All the signage is still on it. I think it's used as a kind of an indoor market now. So we're at the top end of Park Street. To my left is a Poundland. I think that was Woolworths before it was Poundland. On this site actually once stood a theatre, and then it became a cinema in 1936. But it was demolished I think it was demolished in the 90s. It was originally the Savoy, and when they built this Woolworths building here, they almost made it look like the theatre. And here we've got the Red Lion. It's the only pub in Park Street now that's trading. There was a good half a dozen pubs along Park Street at one time. And just here, look, this is called the Park Place Shopping Centre. Not really much to shout about now, but there used to be a Wilko's building there through the doors up the escalators. Wilko's used to be up there. I think what they're proposing to do also is to bring the Walsall Arena to this Park Place shopping area. It's currently in Horbush Road or something like that. but this has been out of use for quite some time. It was originally called the Quasar Centre. Quasar Centre. I think Waterstones used to be Ottakar's, didn't it? Ottakar's? I think Waterstones bought them. Yeah, it was the Quasar Centre, built in the 70s. Still one or two big stores along Park Street. Park Street has been the main retail area of Walsall for well over 200 years now. Now this is where, here to my left, I'm going to show you where the new walkway is going to be. This is Station Street. Just take you down Station Street, show you what's down here. Now Station Street is so called because the railway station is down here. Walsall railway station. Now there is two entrances to this station. There's one in the Saddler Centre and there's one down here, a salon. We've got a massage and beauty and we have a tattoo shop. These places are springing up all over the place, aren't they, tattoos? There's another unisex hairdresser, massage therapy. Oh, it's so monotonous. As a florist. Forget-me-not. And here we have the Walsall railway station entrance. But this is the car parking down there till the station. Station Street at the bottom, you would have found the old Bogue building. I did a video of Bridgman Street, which is just down behind me, not so long back, where I mentioned a fair few industries along Bridgman Street, but when I went down there it was rather a bit of an eye-opener. All the industry's practically gone along Bridgman Street. Okay, that's where we've just come from Station Street, just down there. This building here, which houses Superdrug, that used to be a theatre called the Grand Theatre there in the late 19th century. It was converted to a cinema in 1931, but I think it got burnt down in 1939. And just pan you over to where we just come from, where you can see Poundland. A lot of the Poundlands are closing down, you know. But this one seems safe for now. And that used to be the Majesty's Theatre before it became a cinema. Here I'm standing next to a very noisy spud hut. Just to mention Lee and Melanie, who I've just seen here in the town. Thank you for your support. Always nice to meet supporters of the channel. Just here, look, you can see the old pub called the Priory. What's he want? You want your money? Dogs Trust. T.G. Jones. Can't get over that. It's W.H. Smith, wasn't it? Anyway, I'll show you this bit here. Up the steps, we used to go into Marks and Spencer's, didn't we? But Marks and Spencer's is no more. It's been gone a long, long time now. And what's going to take its place? That's what many people have been mentioning for a while, and it's going to be an adult learning centre. Skill development, lifelong learning, opening in 2027, I believe. So it's another year or so away yet. Personally, I'm not really a fan of putting colleges right next to shopping areas, but it seems to be the trend these days. Now this is where all these shops are going to be demolished. Look, we've got this one here, the Link, and we've got the old Subway next door, and I think there's the phone hub, and another empty shop just there. These are the shops which will be demolished to make way for the new walkway, and the work to demolish this will begin in a few weeks' time, in January of 2026. It's the 23rd December today, so not long before major demolition begins. Now here is Butler's Passage, so this will all disappear. Butler's Passage was so named after a very high class leather makers and saddle makers. The business was the Butler Brothers. They'd been around since 1812, and they'd been on this site for well over 100 years before they moved to Long Lane. And I think in 1980, when finally the Butler's saddle makers met their demise, went into administration. But anyway, we'll have a look down Butler's Passage, because you won't be able to come down here for too much longer. Now this is the shortcut to St Paul Street, where we got the bus station. All these buildings here to my left used to be transport offices. Not sure if that related to the railway or the buses, but St Paul's bus station has been of many years. It's got this rather, well, was recognised at the time as rather a space age roof. An architectural wonder. It seems a little, I don't know, it seems a little run down these days. And the usual huddle of bus drivers that you generally see when you come to these places. Now you can see this is where all this demolition will be. It's all this building here. This is all coming down. It looks like 1950s, doesn't it, or early 60s, but I may be way out. But this, the rear used to be a cafe and takeaway. But no, that's coming down very soon. There's the entrance to the Saddler's Shopping Centre. Not as good as it once was. And I did a video on the Saddler's Centre not so long ago. Round here, round here there used to be a couple of pubs along this side. One of them was the Durham Ox. And I think that disappeared in the early 70s. And there was another pub along here somewhere as well, but I just can't think of the name. It used to be somewhere around here where the NatWest building was. There was a pub here. Now there's the Park Street Arcade. Let's go and have a look in the Park Street Arcade and see what we've got in here these days. It's a familiar sight. Well, we have a barber's. This is a rather popular little shop here, Billy Bunter's Bakehouse. This is a vape store here. This is a kebab shop. This building here used to be the Woolworths building. This was where the original Woolworths stood before they moved to the top of Park Street. So yeah, we've got Dykeman here, we've got Specsavers, Pandora, and we got the big Lloyd's Bank there on the corner. That's been there since about 1910, I think. Right, we've reached the end of Park Street. Now I'm on, this is known as the bridge just here. I'll show you the tree. Now the bridge is so called because there once was a brook that ran through this area, a tributary of the River Tame, and there was a footbridge here across that brook. A footbridge, so that's why it's named the bridge. Ahead of me is Digbeth, and if you go to the top and just take a bit of a left there and carry on up to St Matthew's Church on the hill, That is the High Street.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Do you recognise you from YouTube?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah. Is it A Walk with Phil?
Yes, it is indeed. Yes. It was in 1959. Sir John Betjeman, the famous poet, said when he visited here, he said that the High Street here in Walsall, after he saw all those lovely buildings up there, he said that the High Street in Walsall was the loveliest and most charming of streets in the whole of England. He said that in 1959, and then within 10 years, practically every building that Sir John Betjeman mentioned had all been demolished. So much heritage has been removed from Walsall. Along here, along Digbeth and the High Street, which is just at the top as I mentioned, had rows and rows of market stalls. It was a sight to behold. It was one of the busiest, one of the best markets anywhere. But now it's practically zero. There's just a few stalls at the top there. But I think they're trying to encourage more market stalls again, but I don't think it'll ever be like it once was. Tesco's used to be around here, didn't it? I'm never too sure whether it was the building next door.
I know you're making YouTube.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Busy today.
Yeah, just here on the corner. I'm not sure which it was. Was it Halifax or was it next door? There used to be Tesco. And Tesco was one of a couple of supermarkets right here in the town, wasn't there? We used to have one in the Sadler Centre. It used to be known as Presto. And then that disappeared. So, but actually there isn't a supermarket here in the centre of the town any longer. I think there might be one on the Crown Wharf Retail Park. Further, if you went up there, I did a video of Old Square, the shopping centre, where there's no shops in there now. Well, not really to speak of. They're talking of demolishing that, and the reason they're thinking of demolishing that is because the Gala Baths in the civic quarter of the town, I believe that's coming to the end of its operational life, and that could be closed, and then moving it to where the Old Square shopping centre is. So that would be demolished, and they're proposing that the swimming baths will be there instead. Oh, watch this space. Before I finish, just show you this here in Victoria Arcade. Now, do Alan Warwick Butchers sell the best pork sandwiches in Walsall? Well, judging by this queue, I was wondering what they was queuing for. It's very popular. It won't be long now before the demolition begins, and all that area will be no more. So what they're going to do is, as I said, they're going to be demolishing those shops. But also, I forgot to mention when I was down there, they're creating a plaza square where they're going to be putting up big screens to screen major media events and major sports events. So that could be quite interesting. As they say, it'll probably look rather nice when it's done. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.